I hope everybody's doing well. So I haven't uploaded in a year now, and I thought it was about time. So as you can see in the title, it's about our journey. It's about fostering children. It's about coming back on YouTube. I want to talk about the positive in fostering children, and I want to talk about the other downsides about fostering children. Maybe this comeback had to do with me having a little bit of frustration with the system and wanting to have a positive day, talk to people I haven't talked in a long time. So please leave a comment below or email me, tell me how you're doing. A lot of you out there have been following us for years, and we haven't been consistent. We'll never probably be consistent, but we do pop on over like once in a while to say hi. So please do the same. Come say hi to us. And please like and subscribe if you haven't. So on to our subject today about fostering children. I'm sorry about the light. I still do my videos on my phone. There's no quality in my videos. I may want to try to turn the camera a bit here. Now I got the KitchenAid in the way, but okay. Hopefully you hear me well and you see me well. I'm wearing my nice fall sweater like I usually do at this time of year. Okay, so we have been fostering children now for 2 years full-time. I say this because we've been fostering with the DYP within the system. I have raised many children along the years, or children have been in my care, either through family or even with our own. We have 4 beautiful children that are now aged from 14 to 25. So we have 3 gorgeous, awesome boys, Randy, Jesse, and Austin, age 21, 23, 25. And our baby, Lily, that you know, that's here on the channel quite often, who is now, are you ready? She's 14. Where has the time gone? When we started this channel, she was just a little bitty thing. I don't know, I think she was like 7 or 8 years old. So we were, back then inspired by Bev from our half-acre homestead to start a YouTube channel, and we were on and off, and that's okay. We usually do these vlogs just to, it's especially for our family memories. That's why I keep on wanting to come back and do some more videos. So, okay, I'm getting away from the fostering subject. So, last we made a video, I believe we were fostering 2 young boys. These were the 2 first we took in 2 years ago, age 4 and 8. And we kept them for almost a year, one of them a year. And we had ups and downs. It was a beautiful experience, but we did have ups and downs because they did eventually have to go back. One of them went back to his mom, which is a good thing. It's always a positive thing when things work out, and as long as he's being taken care of and things are going well, and we check up on him quite often, then we're happy, as long as he's safe and happy. And we miss him. Of course we miss him. It's the hardest thing about fostering, but when it turns out well, then that's good. And the oldest one, that was 9 and now 10, he is with a grandmother, so somebody from the family, and it's going very well. We get to see him once a month. We get to go and pick him up, bring him back to the farm, and he seems very happy. So that is good news and a good turnout. Now back in last year, right when I stopped making these videos, actually, we welcomed a little girl, a 10-year-old little girl, who was no picnic, I have to say, at first. She came to us with a lot of attitude, but at the same time with a great spirit, personality. So she was just, she wasn't happy about being in a foster home, which who can blame her? But then she got to know us and trust us. A little anecdote here about, I'm never going to tell their names here on the channel because I want to be as respectful and confidential as possible. So I'm going to call her Miss A. So Miss A came to us, and she had mixed emotions. She really enjoyed being on the farm, so she was happy about the placement that they chose for her, but very mad at life. Very mad at life, of course. Being, you know, a place she was abused, and she's very outspoken with a very strong character, bless her heart, which is good because these kids need to be strong. And little anecdote, it was Christmas time. She arrived December 3rd. And we always go out and harvest our tree, as you can see on our videos, us and the family when they were all still at home, going out to harvest our Christmas tree on the property. And she didn't understand that. She wondered, like, why are we doing this? And I don't go out during the winter normally, and this sucks, this is boring, and I don't want to do this. Yet I didn't want to leave her alone inside the house, so forced her to come along, and she hung off Lily the whole time, complaining, going, I can't do this, I don't like that, as we were walking across our land. And then we got our first Christmas tree, and I say first because wait for it. We dragged it back home, and we chose a very nice one, but by the time we got home with it and got it into the house, it was very, very tall. It was missing a whole side, so it was very flat on one side, and the angles didn't work out. And I really love my Christmas trees, and they have to be perfect. So I decided this one was going to be the perfect porch Christmas tree. So off we went again to get another tree. Now by this time she's really annoyed, but I permitted that she stayed with Lily while Scott and I went quickly to go and get another tree. And at the same time we had to discuss about, this is a hard case. What are we gonna do? And I had to express my feelings to Scott and say, am I up for this job with this child? Like pre-teenager, and I mean 10 going on 16, literally, maybe even older. But anyways, come back with a new tree. It's perfect. It's nice and big and fat. Even though I do like the little Charlie Brown Christmas trees too. I like those too. But anyway, we get it into the house and we start taking out all the decorations and put on some Christmas music, and we start singing and dancing and decorating the tree. Now Miss A is looking at us. She's sitting on the couch going like, what are you doing? Like, why are you guys like this? And we said, because we're happy people, a happy family, and we like to decorate our tree at this time of year. And so she kind of just stared at us for a while until this particular song came up. And I love this song. You all know this song, which is Hallelujah. And wasn't the original singer at the time. I forget. Anyway, I forget who was singing it, but Lily starts singing it, I start singing it, and we're decorating the tree, and wouldn't you know it, she joins right in singing and starts decorating the tree. And my God, the beautiful voice of this child brought me to tears, literally. And I turned around and I looked at her and I said, Miss A, you have an absolutely beautiful voice. Where did you learn how to sing? And she says, well, I never did. I sing. I sing in the shower. And then she continued on decorating the tree. And long story short, she was smiling and she was happy and she was having fun. And we were doing what we always do at this time of year. And well, not quite this time, it was in December. And everybody was okay. So that's this little anecdote, which took a little longer than I thought, but about this child who now this month, just recently, has asked me, the kids call me Nini. Nini, are we gonna go and harvest a tree, sing and decorate like we did last year? Now, here's the thing. That beautiful fat tree that we brought in, decorated even a little early on in the season, I didn't place it where I normally place it, and it was beside a vent. So before even Christmas was here, I could show you pictures if I can find them, but this tree dried out and it was naked before we could get to Christmas. Just the garlands and all the decorations are falling off of it as we walked by. So we had to get a third Christmas tree. Only this time I put up a fake one. Like, I wasn't gonna disturb nature just because of my silly mistakes. So I put up a fake Christmas tree, and it was beautiful and it was perfect. And we might just even put that one up again this year, since we've harvested one too many last year. This said, she is looking forward to that, and we're a year later now, and she is thriving, doing well, and has asked to stay with us longer. So it's a good sign, I suppose. Now, back in February, I was at home running a daycare because I did quit my job at the school as a teacher to do full-time fostering, and then I figured, well, if I'm going to be home, I might as well take in some children. So I opened up a subsidized daycare once again, and because I did this, and I often took kids during the summer when I was off of teaching at school. And so I prepped the whole daycare, and I made it a really nice Montessori setup. Again, I'd like to show you pictures if I can find some, but you know, I really liked my setup. There's not that much clientele around here because we're on a farm and we're in the country, but I managed to get 6 children that were registered in my daycare. And then February, we welcomed 3 more kids, 3 siblings aged 2, 3, and 4, very young. It was like having triplets. And these children came to us with a lot of energy, a lot of trauma, I believe. I'm going to be very careful and very vague on what I'm going to mention about these children, because you never know when the families could, stumble upon this video. And so I want to be very confidential, because we do work with the parents as much as we do with the children, which I'll get into a little later. And so I just want to be very respectful towards the children and their families. But I can't say that it was, how do they say this? They're rainbows and unicorns every day. It wasn't always easy at all. They were sick a lot. They were all in diapers. And we had many, many, many nights of just not getting any sleep. Just recently they started, and they still get up once in a while. The baby still gets up once in a while, but they didn't seem to have any routine. And they liked all kinds of food. They would eat absolutely everything when they got here. And now Scott and I were talking, and they're so picky now. They're not eating the way they used to. And we're wondering, well, where did we go wrong? But it turns out it's a good thing, because when they got here, they may have been a little hungry and they would eat anything, and they were shy. Now they're not shy. They're at home and they feel safe. They feel safe to express themselves on what they want and what they don't want. So I think that that's a positive thing after all. And we started recently to set more limits and boundaries, because they are home. They are very they feel well at home, so they're testing, and kids will test. I've been working with children all my life, and that's the job of a child is, number 1, to have fun, number 2, test who they can. And it's up to the adult, the responsible adult behind or accompanying that child, to know how to set reasonable boundaries and limits, and make sure that this child understands these boundaries and limits. So this is a good tip for those who are trying to foster children out there. I encourage you to be true to yourself, true to the children all the time, and always do it with love. Always do it with love. If it doesn't feel right, don't do the intervention at all, basically. But don't ignore it. anyways, that's another video. But all this to say, working with the kids has been a journey of ups and downs, and pretty much normal in my opinion. They do have behavioral issues, which sometimes need to be addressed with the educator. Here in Canada, Quebec, we have educators that are assigned to each child if needed. There is a caseworker that is assigned to the family, children, and parents. And here is where I will talk about difficulties, frustrations, where we found it much harder. So again, I'm going to try and remain very respectful and confidential, but we've worked with, so far we've fostered in 2 years 5 children, and the first 2 years with the 2 first boys, we went through probably 8 caseworkers. And now with these children that we have right now, we've been very lucky this far because it's the same caseworker since the beginning. However, these caseworkers are so busy. Like, one of them is very busy, very available, I must say, but the other one is very hard to reach, very blunt in her way of addressing herself to us. Like, she's our boss and we are to do what she says, even though, you know, these children are living in your home. You have decisions to take for them on a regular basis, but you do not have parental authority. You do not have parental authority until it's actually, there was a court order and that the parents lose the authority, then you may have it. But we don't in our case with the children that we have right now. And so going to the hospital, the doctor with 6 children, enrolling one of them in school. He had to start school later because the caseworker actually came out and said to the end, I have no time to take care of this. Because I had to call the aunt and say, listen, if you talk to her, I need to speak with her because I need to get this child enrolled, registered in school so he could start at the same time as everybody else. And that didn't happen. And we kind of had a discussion with the caseworker, and so her answer to us was, the phone calls take too long. You talk too much. I do talk a lot. I do YouTube. I'm a teacher. I can talk a lot, but I'll assure you this. There are 3 children in this family that we foster, and I don't think there will be enough time to ever discuss, like in 30 minutes, even 1 child, let alone 3. And for her, at one point, after we decided we were upset and we were done, 50 minutes was like way too much when we were just addressing all the problems, because we didn't hear of her the whole summer, except for maybe once in a while when, not even, anyway, I think it was from beginning of summer till the start of school, hardly nothing. And they are supposed to visit like once a month. So I almost wanted to ask for a different social worker. I didn't know if we could do this, what our rights were. And so I started, talking to the union, because we are unionized, and discovered many things, and joining Facebook groups really helped. Talking to other foster parents, YouTube videos, which there's not that many out there. So please, if you are a foster family, either, connect with me, write a comment, did I say that? Write a comment down below, an email, anything. I would love to talk to you. And I want to know, have you been through all these difficulties? So in our opinion, working with children as a foster family is positive, is a beautiful experience, especially when you see them thrive and grow and become happy and playful and, giggle and scream and act like children and play like children. Then you've done a good job. And that's super fulfilling, super, super fulfilling. But on the downside of things, working with the system can be super frustrating, to the point where we wanted to quit. I'm not gonna lie. But then we stopped and we said, okay, wait a minute. It's in one particular case, and you know, these kids, we don't know where they're going. We're supposed to be a temporary foster family until they find long-term homes for the younger children. And we hear nothing, and we're getting very, very attached. My goal was to keep these kids together, and there was a lot of talk of separating them, and which again was very frustrating with all my efforts that's why I took all three in. But if I'm honest here, it's a lot of work. They are small kids that run around all the time, that, you know, get into things and test your limits a lot too. And we're on a farm. So, you know, try to milk goats in the morning, and even sometimes, you know, when it's deworming time for the goats, there's a lot of routine stuff that goes on every season with the animals, every day actually. And you're tagging along all these little kiddos with you, and it's not always easy. They have very good intentions, but you have to have your eyes all around you, because it can be very dangerous on a farm and around livestock, horses and goats, and even the dogs. You know, they're all friendly and very well-raised dogs, but you never know. So we've been asking the caseworker if we have any news, if we know what's going on, and just found out that this month, we don't know when, it's going to court. And it is my understanding that it's our given right to be in court, so I will be there, because I need to know, I need to find out what's going on. Now, in the beginning, when these kids were placed, we knew nothing about them, nothing at all, and we didn't even know where they came from, to be quite honest. And this was their second placement. So sorry, I had to stop filming for a bit, and my hair is all wonky now. But anyways, where was I? So when we got them, we didn't know anything about these children. Like, we had to figure it out. And this is what you'll find that you have to do a lot. Figure it out, get to know the children, because of the law of confidentiality, if I'm saying this right in English. It's hard to find out what happened to them, where they come from. Actually, I was getting more information directly from the parents. And then you're limited on how you can communicate with the parents, and, you know, because they don't always want you to communicate with the parents, they have to give you permission. And so contacts are still happening with the children and the parents, with the mom actually. And it's touch and go. Sometimes they're happening, sometimes they're not. But the kids, the more and more this placement, as like the longer it's lasting, the more we're getting attached, the more the children are getting attached to us, and the less they want to speak with their mom, unfortunately. I can't go into more detail about that. Things happen for a reason. These children have been placed for a reason, and a very good one. And we basically don't know what's going to happen. We know that the older child may be relocated to another family only because he has special needs, and he has a very hard time tolerating other children, not just his sibling, like not just his brothers and sisters, just children. He's having a difficult time in school as well. But we're helping him out, and me being a kindergarten teacher, I'm using all the tricks in my books to try and help him socialize. And there's no diagnosis yet. He has speech impediment. That's pretty pronounced speech impediment. I'm the one with the speech impediment now. I'm very French again, sorry. Anyways, he's not delayed because he understands and can pronounce words. He just can't pronounce them well, so you don't understand what he's saying, which can be very, very frustrating to the child and other children around him. Hence why, you know, social abilities are a little hard for him. So it's important for us to work with him and not get frustrated. And now, are we going to continue this journey? I think so. I'm saying this out loud publicly. We never know who's going to watch this video, but I believe so. Do I encourage other families to become foster parents? Of course I do. However, be informed. Be informed on how the system works in your country, in your province. It's important to know your rights as well, because in our case, social workers and caseworkers, they think you're your boss, and it can be very difficult sometimes to be able to even get permissions and signatures. They're not available, and it becomes very frustrating. So for me, the downside and the negative side of fostering is definitely the system, not the children, not even the parents. It's the person behind the case, actually. And in our case, I mean, I mentioned my frustration, and I thank you for listening to me. It doesn't mean she's not a good person. They are overworked often, and I think this is what's happening right now. And she's not as available, but we do have 3 children that need support, and we need answers. We need permissions and signatures, and it's just not happening the way it should be right now. So very frustrating. But so this is pretty much, that's our journey thus far with our children. We don't know if they're going to be staying longer, or if they're going to be placed within a long-term families, or going back to the mother. We have no idea yet. And that's what you have to be ready to live with as well, because you're always living in the unknown of what's going to happen. So sometimes if it can be very, it can be scary. It can be destabilizing. You know, you're going to spend a lot of nights up, not only with the kids, just thinking and wondering, and most of the time worrying about what's going to happen to these beautiful children. So I thank you. I'm almost going on a half-hour talk here, but I thank you for listening to me today, and hopefully I'll be popping back on, and hopefully somebody's going to leave me comments or reach out to me either in an email at LetsHomesteadInstead@gmail.com. I'll link it. Or even a public comment. If you leave a public comment, please be very polite about it. This is a friendly zone, family zone, and I delete any negative comments. This said, enjoy the rest of your day. It was nice talking. Take care. Till next time.